Welcome to the 5th Annual ALS Fiesta. Hi, my name is Steve Beckbar, the Executive Director for the ALS Association Greater San Diego Chapter. Each year, the ALS Fiesta celebrates and recognizes one of our 3 mission elements. Last year, we honored Coach Don Casey for his 50-plus years of ALS advocacy. The year before, we honored Dr. Don Cleveland for the Breakthrough Prize for Science Award and his many outstanding contributions to ALS research. This year, we are recognizing Care Services and our partnership with the UCSD ALS Clinic. Tonight, you'll hear special messages from our ALS patients, from their spouses and family members. You'll hear from those impacted by ALS. You'll hear from those on the front line that provide support and hope to the patients and families that we serve. You'll hear from Phil Lewis, the chair of our Greater San Diego Chapter Board of Directors. You'll also hear a special message from Kalani Balas, our National President and CEO. But before you hear from her, I would like to say thanks to all of tonight's sponsors, in particular our presenting sponsor, Ionis Pharmaceuticals. The comprehensive support they provide to our chapter and the ALS community is positively affecting the quality of life for our patients and families, delivering support in so many outstanding ways. The launch of the Ionis Hope Scholarship in partnership with the Adapt Functional Movement Center has focused on the care and well-being of our patients emotionally and physically. This perfectly fits this year's ALS Fiesta theme to focus on care services for our ALS community.
Hi, my name is Christina Boyer. I'm the Vice President of Patient-Centered Drug Development here at Ionis. Patient-centered drug development is really built upon the concept of every aspect of disease is important, and so our focus is to really incorporate the patient voice throughout the development process, from start to finish. I'd like to introduce you to our new CEO, Brett Monia. He can introduce you to the Hope Scholarship we created earlier this year in collaboration with the Greater San Diego ALS Chapter.
Hi there, my name is Brett Monia. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Ionis Pharmaceuticals, and I want to welcome the ALS families and patients to today's event. At Ionis, we are committed to deliver transformational medicines in the service of patients suffering from devastating diseases. And no program at Ionis has a higher priority than the Ionis ALS Drug Discovery and Development Program. In part for this reason, we are very proud to be the lead sponsor of this year's fundraising event in support of ALS patients in the Greater San Diego community. And also, we're very proud to have launched a new scholarship fund called the Hope Scholarship Fund in collaboration with the Adapt Movement Center to support patients suffering from ALS to improve their quality of life. And most importantly, I'm very proud of the pipeline of potential new medicines that we are creating and developing here at Ionis Pharmaceuticals to potentially treat this devastating disease, to treat all forms, potentially, of ALS. We recognize time is of the essence, and we are working around the clock here at Ionis Pharmaceuticals to deliver these medicines to patients in great need as fast as possible. So hope is on the way, help is on the way. Keep up the great fight, hang in there. Thank you.
I'd also like to introduce you to Frank Bennett, our Chief Scientific Officer. He'll be able to provide you a brief program update on the research that we're doing in ALS.
Hi, my name is Frank Bennett. I'm Chief Scientific Officer for Ionis Pharmaceuticals. I've become very motivated to help develop therapies not only for SOD1 patients, but for all ALS patients. That motivation is also transpired throughout the company, and the company has a lot of focus on treating ALS and finding therapies that are going to benefit patients with this disease.
I wanted to thank the ALS Association and the entire patient community for the partnership that we've had with you over the last several years, and in particular the Greater San Diego chapter, and letting us be part of your family. Thank you.
On behalf of our board of directors, our chapter staff, and ALS community, I would like to thank Brett Monia Chief Executive Officer, along with the wonderful team at Ionis, for their patient-centered focus and all they do for people living with ALS.
Welcome to the 2020 ALS Fiesta. My name is Phil Lewis, and I'm the chairman of the ALS Association Greater San Diego chapter. I would like to thank our board of directors for all they do in support of our chapter work. I would also like to specifically thank Keith and Lindsay, the entire chapter staff, and all of the team at UCSD ALS Clinic for the care, the compassion, assistance, and work they do for our ALS patients, their families, and caregivers. The ALS patient and their families come first in everything that we do. Now, enjoy the ALS Fiesta, virtual style, and please know that your donations and support will make a huge impact on our ALS community. Thank you.
ALS has impacted my life in so many ways. It has robbed me of my ability to be independent, but helped me appreciate the little things I can still do. It has been a burden to my family and friends, but a blessing to see how willingly they've taken it on. It will cheat me out of a future with my loved ones, especially the grandbabies, but it has helped me find joy in every moment I spend with them today. I try to find the silver linings and be thankful for my many blessings because ALS has taught me to treasure life each day. The one thing I wish people knew about ALS is that just because I have difficulty speaking, it doesn't mean I'm dim-witted, so don't talk as if I'm not there. If you have ALS, don't be afraid to go out there and embrace adventure. We have traveled the world with a wheelchair and have always found people are happy to help us. Even when accessibility in Russia means two guys carrying you upstairs in your wheelchair to get to the restroom.
The ALS Association is amazing. They treat each one of us as though we're members of their own family. They anticipate our needs before we do, and often equipment will show up on our doorstep without even asking. This support group has been a tremendous help for us because we can speak freely about our shared experiences.
My name is Dean Landon.
And my name is Dave Landon.
We're in this together and asking you to donate today.
The one thing I wish people knew about ALS was that every 90 minutes someone is diagnosed with ALS, and every 90 minutes someone passes away from ALS. Starting with symptoms that are often too easily explained, the actual cause, ALS, can take between 6 to 18 months to be diagnosed. During this time, ALS moves forward, taking away independence, both physical and financial, upsetting relationships, plans, hopes, and dreams. In plain words, it can strike anyone at any time. ALS brings the loss of the ability to walk, talk, run, to dance, to sing, to laugh, to hug, eat, drink, and even breathe. The ALS, the Greater San Diego chapter, in coordination with healthcare professionals, including our local Certified Center of Excellence, UCSD ALS Clinic, and third-party resources, provides ALS-specific information, resources, extensive DME or durable medical equipment loan closet, canes, walkers, scooters, wheelchairs, ramps, bathroom equipment, Hoyer lifts, hospital beds, low and high-tech communication systems, power chairs, and more. Our passes for PALS community events take place at various San Diego landmarks and are fun and provide networking opportunities. In addition, we organize support groups, care service meetings, providing referrals with someone who cares, listens, and takes action. We meet individuals where they are, attempt to get their questions answered, help them know what to ask, and often getting in the canoe with our pals and their loved ones following their directions, their chosen path, and navigate the rapids together. My name is Keith Miller. We're in this together.
Because I have ALS, I cannot speak, so I use this computer and my eyes to talk. Sort of like Stephen Hawking used to do, but I am smarter. There are a few things that I want you to know about my ALS. 1. Chicks still dig me. 2. My charisma is still intact. 3. I have the best caregivers on the planet. I love them all. The most valuable thing that I got from the ALS Association was hope. And hope replaces fear. Once I was diagnosed, I received a parade of equipment that included, but not limited to, an electric wheelchair and a talking computer, just like the ones you see me using now. Just as important as hope and equipment, the ALS Association provided me and my caregivers with love and acceptance. With a special shout out to Keith and Melissa. They didn't want to know how much money I had. They only wanted my address and to find out what I needed. My name is Richard. We are in this together, so I implore you, not for my sake, but for the sake of the ones that come after me, donate generously to the ALS Association.
I'm Elizabeth, and I'm an ALS caregiver. We're all in this together, so please donate generously today. Thank you.
The diagnosis of ALS was devastating. Just looking up on the internet what ALS is and what it does to a person was scary, sad for me and my family.
ALS is a hard diagnosis. It's robbed my husband of the ability to walk, feed himself a proper meal, dress himself, breathe on his own, or even really talk clearly anymore. ALS really does require you to dig very deep, deep into your faith, go deeper with your family and your friends. It requires you to reach out for help and to accept help from others.
The ALS Association of San Diego has been so supportive to me and my family.
The San Diego chapter of the ALS Association has helped us immeasurably. They're always there with encouraging words and a helping hand. They've provided us with equipment, referrals, and mostly the support that we need to get through this journey.
My family and I did not know what we needed or what to expect or how do we cope with the loss of function or movement, and the ALS Association really came alongside us, encouraged us, and said they knew what we needed before we did, and they provided it. Ramps, wheelchairs, walkers, encouragement, put us in touch with companies, people that can help us.
I am very thankful that I do not have to do this alone.
They've been a lifesaver to us.
We're in this together.
And I'm asking you to donate today.
I'm a second-generation San Diego native, and I lost my dad, Bill Andrews, to ALS in October of 2017. Our family's journey with ALS was no doubt the saddest and hardest thing we ever encountered, but we managed to stay strong through it. The entire experience brought us all even closer together, and in the end, it became the most special and magical journey our family ever had together. We had a wonderful support system with friends and family to make that happen, but there's no doubt we were able to navigate the disease as well as we did because of the help and assistance we received from the ALS Association Greater San Diego chapter. After my dad's passing, I thought a lot about how ALS affected our family, how the chapter played such an important role for us, and so I left my career to join the chapter team and help do for other families like the chapter did for mine. The most important thing the ALS Association did for our family was that they helped provide resources for my dad to do all the things that he wanted to do while living with ALS. Dad wanted to learn more about ALS and meet other people living with it, so we took advantage of chapter support groups and the ALS clinic at UCSD. Dad wanted to remain independent as long as possible. The chapter lent us bathroom and home modification equipment to make that happen. Dad wanted to inspire more scientists to help find a cure by helping to put another face to the disease. Maybe most important was the help around mobility. When we couldn't find a mobility van at our price range within 300 miles of San Diego, the chapter helped us find one. And when Dad had a 3-month delay with insurance to get his motorized wheelchair, the chapter delivered him one within 24 hours of us calling. Those two things in particular were of extreme significance because they helped him do the things he absolutely wanted to do most. To see his family, to go to the beach and see his old surf spots, his old friends, to tell stories with them, visit places he hadn't been, and to see and spend as much time as possible with his grandchildren. I'll forever be grateful for the chapter's help in allowing him to live his life with ALS like he wanted. In my position now, what I enjoy doing most is working with so many wonderful people in the ALS community. From pals, spouses, sons, daughters, caretakers, walk team captains, chapter board and committee members, partners, vendors, donors, or any one of our incredible volunteers. Every single day is a reminder of the amazing, beautiful, and life-changing work that happens when people who care come together. Our ALS community is filled with the most loving and inspirational people I've ever met, and it's an honor to be a part of it. My name is Eric Andrews, and we are in this together.
About 15 years ago, a coworker of mine came down with ALS, and I watched what he and his family went through with this horrible, horrible disease, and it made a lasting impression on me. Recently, I retired after a long career in the airline industry, and I really wanted to give back. Remembering my friend Dennis, I went to San Diego ALS to see what volunteer positions might be available. What impressed me the most was how dedicated the team was. There's no bureaucracy, red tape, or egos here. Everyone is focused on beating ALS, and until that happens, helping those that are afflicted. My name is Eric Larson, and I'm asking you to please donate today.
I became a volunteer at the ALS Association Greater San Diego chapter in 2017, as well as a team captain for the Walk to Defeat ALS. I've so far raised over $3,000 for ALS research and have helped with delivering boxes of fresh produce to ALS patients during the pandemic. Volunteering at the ALS Association Greater San Diego chapter has taught me so much about ALS and has been an amazing way for me to honor my grandmother. The ALS Association Greater San Diego chapter has sparked a change in the ALS community and has brought so much positivity, not only to me, but to all of the patients and their families. My name is Isha. We're in this together, and I'm asking you to donate today.
In early 2019, following nearly 2 years of different ailments and numerous testing, I was given the diagnoses no one wants to hear. My neurologist informed my wife and I that I had amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as Lou Gehrig disease. It was at this appointment that I was directed to a beneficial organization, the ALS Association Greater San Diego chapter. My wife and I drove from that medical appointment directly to the ALS Association Greater San Diego chapter offices and met with the representative, Keith. It was from that moment on we were provided not only with valuable information and equipment, but most importantly, comfort in knowing we are not alone in our battle against ALS. With the newly formed friendship of the ALS Association representatives, along with my family, it helped me face my enemy not with fear but with determination in defeating this disease. We left that initial meeting with a wealth of knowledge and a wheelchair. Over the next few weeks we met with Representative Eric, who also with compassion and understanding, provided me and my family comfort by answering questions regarding our concerns about this new challenge and what to expect for the future. For me as a patient, the ALS Association Greater San Diego chapter provided me much needed equipment such as a temporary wheelchair to a patient lift. I would fall short if I failed to mention, Keith even hooked us up with another family who was selling their wheelchair accessible van. The purchase of this van has allowed me to make my medical appointments and allowed me to not feel isolated in my own home. My name is Terry and we're in this together, and I am asking you to please donate today.
My name is Colleen Balas, and I am the President and CEO of the ALS Association. And first, I just want to say thank you for joining our friends and colleagues in San Diego for the Fiesta this year. I am really sad that we're not doing this in person. I've been at the Fiesta a couple of times over the last few years, and it's just a great event. But I do want to thank you for all of your support and dedication. I know we are in a really unusual time, to say the least, and it has created a lot of stress for people across the country and across the world, especially those living with ALS. And we know that ALS doesn't stop, so neither can we. We are going to keep going as hard and as fast as we can go. And I just want to thank you for your support for our local chapter, for all the work that they're doing. They have really dug in to make sure that people are still getting services, both mental health services and physical services, making sure that they have good health and nutrition, food at their table, and we really could not do this without you. I also know that we are all facing really economic uncertain times, and really no more than now do we need your support. So I know if you're sitting in front of this screen watching a stranger from many moons away out here in Washington, D.C. area, that you are committed to our cause. And for that, I am forever grateful. We will continue the fight. We will continue to make sure that research moves forward, our local programs move forward, and I want to assure you that just because there's a pandemic doesn't mean that we're going to stop our efforts to make sure that we stop ALS. Thank you again. Enjoy the Fiesta, and hopefully one day soon we can do this together again in person. Have a great event.
My father Rolando was affected by ALS and passed away 4 years ago. By the time he was living in Mexico, he came for his visits with Dr. Rabbits at his clinic. That made a really huge difference for us. At the beginning, we didn't know nothing about the disease, how to care for him, how to comfort him. And the clinic and the association made this difference. He offered the equipment he needed, the steps we needed to take, and especially they treat him with a lot of dignity and compassion. Also, we have all the tools we needed to take care of him at home, and that really make a big difference for us. So now it's time to step up and make a difference in other families going through this disease. I really encourage you to donate today to discuss, because even though we don't have a cure yet, I'm pretty sure that we're gonna get very close to better treatments and better care to the patients. It's time to step up. Please donate, and let's help each other. Thank you.
The teamwork has been sensational. We're particularly thrilled to be working with Keith Miller, who I think we all love for all that he does and all that he's achieved, and the growing team at the ALS Association for all of their services. And it's really a comfort to know that there's so much out there for patients and that we can rely on each other. The ALS Association, I just can't say enough good things about them. I think it's one of the strongest chapters in the nation in terms of all that they do, their organization, their leadership, their vision, their national participation, and of course all of the local care. I'm Dr. John Ravitz. We're all in this together, and please support the ALS Association.
Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Ionis Pharmaceuticals, for your generous support. All the great work we do couldn't happen without our sponsors. A special thanks to our premier sponsors, Access Medical, Grossmont Healthcare District, Valley View Casino and Hotel, Geico, and Life Pro. Your support helps us fund many care service programs, such as our Loan Closet, which provides durable medical equipment to all our patients and their families at absolutely no cost. We can't forget Azuñia, the official tequila of the ALS Fiesta. Wait, we actually have an official tequila? We're also grateful for our supporting sponsors, including Merrill's outstanding team of Bradshaw, Wilczynski, and Associates, the San Diego Union Tribune, Swish Basketball League, and At Home Medical for their partnership. And finally, I'd like to introduce you to John Monteith, the Executive Director of ADAPT Functional Movement Center, who has become a valuable partner in providing additional support for our patients and their families.
It's an incredible feeling to know that you've made an impact on somebody's life in a positive way, and I'm fortunate enough to be part of an organization with incredible partners that enables me to do that on almost a daily basis. My name is John Monteith. I am the founder and executive director at the ADAPT Functional Movement Center in Carlsbad, California, and I want to thank you guys for allowing us to be a participant in this year's ALS Fiesta. ADAPT is an integrative recovery center focused on providing services for individuals whose lives have been impacted by chronic neurological conditions. And earlier this year, made possible by our friends at Ionis Pharmaceuticals, as well as in partnership with the ALS Association of Greater San Diego, we had the honor of launching the Hope Scholarship Program, which provides rehabilitative and recovery services at our center for individuals whose lives have been impacted by ALS. And in the short time since this program has been running, we've had an amazing response, and we've had some incredible individuals go through it. And I'm really, really excited about the future of this program, as well as the partnerships that we've developed along the way. So again, thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of your event tonight. I hope you guys enjoy the program, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Thanks so much.
The Greater San Diego chapter of the ALS Association didn't exist back in the early 90s when my father was diagnosed with ALS. So my dad, family, and I had to navigate the sometimes very rough waters and scary waters, but we made it through. But still, that's all the more reason why I am so grateful that the chapter established in 2002 has been so impactful in San Diego and in our region. I have seen and felt not only the chapter staff and the volunteers over the years offer great information and products and equipment and support and guidance, but also how the chapter and all those people can lift the spirits and offer support and compassion in what can be a very difficult time. And that brings them light, it brings them hope, it brings them a sense of belonging and that they are not alone. I'm Jane Mitchell. We're in this together. So on behalf of all the families affected by ALS in the past, present, and future, I'm asking you to please donate today.
I was diagnosed with ALS in 2014 and am now far along with the disease. I am paralyzed in my arms and legs, can no longer speak or eat through my mouth, require a non-invasive ventilator almost all of the time and can only communicate with the world through the wonders of eye gaze technology, which I am using right now to speak via voice synthesis. Despite my severe disabilities, I am a happy guy, usually smiling or laughing.
We want to thank the ALS Association of the Greater San Diego area for supporting our family and so many other ALS families in the area. Nationally, ALS Association supports research toward finding a cure for ALS, and locally they do so much to support us with loans of equipment, moral support, as well as handing out produce boxes for many families. Anyway, we just want to thank the ALS Association and their staff so much, and we hope that you'll support them as they support us. Thank you.
I want people to know is that ALS is a devastating disease that slowly destroys your muscles, but your mind still works as it did before. Even if it is discomforting to you to see someone in physical decline, please do try to visit, write, and call so that the patient and family knows you care. Our names are John Ferriolo and Karen Kahn. We're in this together, and we are asking you to make a contribution today.
When I began working with the chapter 3 years ago, I really had no connection or a loved one who had ALS. I pretty much just knew about the Ice Bucket Challenge. But since then, I've had such a large learning curve understanding this disease, and I've met so many inspiring families. One of the hardest things I've noticed is that when a family member is diagnosed with ALS, there's such a feeling of hopelessness and isolation. And despite this, I've seen families respond with amazing courage, perspective, humor, and so much love. And I really believe it's so important for families to know that they're not alone, that they have a community of people ready to listen, to help them find helpful resources, and just to walk through each step of this journey. And I've seen how the ALS Association has been this community for so many of our families. So one of the ways I've seen our chapter provide this sense of community and connection is through our support groups and our events. Oftentimes PALs and their caregivers, they're not only processing the diagnosis, but they're really grieving a lot of those changes that they've experienced. And I've seen our support group being such an amazing source of hope and exchange, and almost like this sigh of relief when I see one family meet another and they say, you know what, I've been through where you are at, and this is what's helped me. So if I had to share one thing with pals or families impacted by ALS, I'd say you're not alone, and we're here as a support. One of the things I love most about working with families is learning their stories. So I'm not just meeting a patient, I'm meeting artists, business owners, influencers, athletes, advocates, and the list just goes on with amazing, amazing people. And it's amazing to meet these remarkable people who are much more than ALS and who have welcomed me into their homes, and they've shared their stories and they've shared their lives with me. I'm Lindsay Liebenberg, and we are in this together.
My husband George passed away in May of 2019 after suffering from ALS for over 10 years. Initially, George and I went arm in arm, heart in heart, looking under every resource for help, for guidance, for leadership. It was only when we found the ALS Foundation here in San Diego that we truly found a grounded source of loving help, support, upliftment. Everyone at the foundation was so kind, so strong for us, and helped us to be strong for one another. I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart, and I know that George would give them a fist pump too. in gratitude and love for all that they did for him. I hope that you choose to support this amazing resource so that they can continue to help so many, many other people. And I know that George would want the same. Whether it's the patient or the family or the caregiver, especially the spouses, whomever it is, be sure those you know and love are given support. And the ALS Foundation here in San Diego is, to me, the most invaluable resource possible.
My grandmother, May Casey, passed away from ALS 50 years ago when I was 2 years old. Although I do not remember much of that time, I have grown up with ALS being an important part of my family. My dad, Don Casey, has been involved with ALS advocacy for 50 years and has worked closely with the ALS Association for decades. I have been working with the Greater San Diego chapter for 8 years now. I just celebrated my work anniversary last month. I'm like a jack of all trades. You'll see me delivering equipment, picking up equipment, giving a pal a ride to the UCSD clinic, but you will always see me working with the team captains each year for the Walk to Defeat ALS. I enjoy helping the team captains register their walk teams and anything else they would need to make their walk experience the best. The Walk to Defeat ALS has always been a family affair for me. My team, Casey's Crew, has been walking in the Walk to Defeat for ALS for 14 years. My sons started out being pulled in a wagon, then riding their bikes, to now helping their moms set up and break down the walk site. The Walk to Defeat ALS is such a special day. It's a great time to remember my grandmother with my family, but also share in the joy with other families as they honor their loved one. It is the one day of the year where families all over come together to support each other and share stories of their loved one. It is an honor for me to help create that special day. The San Diego chapter is such a special place. It's a place where you can get information and equipment, but it's even more than that. It's a warm and comforting place where you can stop by to have a cup of coffee, eat lunch, chat, vent, need a shoulder to cry on, or just a big hug. I'm honored to be part of such a wonderful organization. My name is Leanne Casey, and we are in this together.
ALS has affected me in every way imaginable. It's taken away my ability to walk, speak, swallow, dress, feed or care for myself. It's affected my hands so I can't write or grasp things. I'm completely dependent upon my husband in hospice for my daily care. The ALS Association has truly been a godsend to us. They've loaned us much needed equipment for my care. I needed a motorized wheelchair sooner than we'd anticipated, and it was taking months before mine would be ready. So the ALS Association loaned me one for several months. When my alternating air mattress on my hospital bed failed, one phone call to Keith at ALS and the next day I had a new, working mattress. They also provided us with a very necessary Hoyer lift, which transfers me from wheelchair to bed or to shower chair. They have wonderful support groups and special tour of the zoo in the USS Midway. The staff in our chapter are always kind and helpful. They truly are rays of sunshine. What is one thing I wish people knew about ALS? It is always fatal and at present there is no cure, but scientists are working diligently to find both a cure and more effective treatments to slow the advance of this devastating disease. I may not have much time left, but what I do have is the love and support of family and friends who are standing by me in faith in my Lord Jesus, who will at just the right time carry me home to heaven. I'm so grateful for the help and great kindness of the ALS Association. They are for me a tremendous answer to prayer. My name is Susie Wilbur. We're in this together, and I'm humbly asking you to donate today.
It is through the support group of the association that made him cope better and feel less isolated as he is surrounded by others who are undergoing similar situations. They have been a great support system and have given us guidance, education, and durable equipment. The ALS chapter of Greater San Diego is always there to help. The one thing I wish people knew about ALS is that it is difficult to diagnose. Many people do not understand the complexities of the disease. To honor those who are afflicted, we need to get involved with the fight so that no family faces ALS alone. Remember also that even small gestures have huge impacts.
My name is Tom. This is my wife Beth and my grandkids Noah and Tessa.
We're in this together. We're asking you to donate today to make a difference.
ALS can strike anyone, any family, at any time. My Aunt Margie taught me the importance of being optimistic and to never, ever give up. I am Cole Spector and we are in this together, and I am asking you to support the ALS Association Greater San Diego chapter today.
During the last 3 months, in partnership with the Oceanside Kitchen Collaborative, more than 168 hot meals and over 400 boxes were delivered to our ALS community. We included messages and notes to accommodate each delivery. But the note that got the most attention came from 9-year-old Elias, the son of chapter board member Cecilia Cardenas.
Take care, stay healthy, stay positive. You are special.
Thank you, Elias, for your beautiful note. This nutritious program came at a time of great need and would not have been possible without the wonderful staff at the OKC and our inspired army of volunteers.
I'm Valerie Gillian. I'm the Executive Director of Oceanside Kitchen Collaborative. You know, originally we were a preservation kitchen where we bought surplus produce from farms and farmers markets and made it into keeping it on your plate, like pickling, jamming, hot sauce, whatever you could think of, creating these possibilities of zero waste in our kitchens and in our businesses. And so now here we are, and we're in this pandemic, and it's a time of uncertainty, and there's a time of need, and it's a time of fear, and we have turned this kitchen into a production kitchen where we are feeding nutritious meals to the community members that need it the most, our elderly, our immune compromised, our homeless, sober living, anyone that needs it right now, we're able to help.
Thank you, Oceanside Kitchen Collaborative, for all you do for our ALS community.
My husband David lived with ALS until he passed away a few years ago. I can't stress enough how valuable ALS Association was to us, both me as a caregiver and my husband as someone with ALS. Everyone was so caring, all the staff, and even though David's a physician and I'm a registered nurse, and we intellectually knew what ALS would do, you don't really know until you have to live with it. But the staff knew before we did what was needed. They came to the house and installed safety hardware and provided assistance equipment that was needed before we really realized that it was needed. They helped Dave live a much fuller life, and I can't say enough about the ALS Association. My name is Nancy, and we're in this together, and I'm asking you to donate today. Not just today, but please consider putting the ALS Association in your charitable remainder trust. My husband Dave was so impressed with the ALS that he revised his trust to include them. Please donate whatever you can, either today or in the future.
I love sports. Prior to joining the ALS Association Greater San Diego chapter, I was the head softball coach at the University of San Diego for 18 years. Even now in my 40s, I still attempt to play soccer because I love to be a part of a team. So imagine we're on the field together. You have the ball, I'm on the wing, running alongside of you, and you hear me say, "With you." I'm simply letting you know that I'm there for support if you need me. The phrase "with you" is not demanding the ball but just assuring you that you have options to pass or shoot. You have support. It's a beautiful phrase because you're immediately reminded and reassured that you're not alone. With you provides a sense of comfort, support, options, and maybe resources. We all need to be reminded that we have teammates and family to lean on. I'm proud now to be a part of the ALS Association Greater San Diego chapter's team and a part of the ALS family. I'm so inspired by our heroes that live with ALS, our selfless caregivers, our rock star volunteers, and everyone on our team in the fight against ALS. You all motivate me, and you inspire me to be a better person and to make an impact in the fight against ALS. If after meeting our ALS heroes, you feel inspired to shout with you, please donate today.
ALS has affected my life in every way you could possibly imagine. Every day it's a challenge to adapt and adjust. Every day is different. My dad has been sick for as long as I can remember, so things that normal families experience we've never gotten to. We don't even really know what normal is. We just have our own version of normal.
Every day I have to find something that pulls me out of despair, out of depression, and helps me stay positive. On those days when I can't find that, I call someone from the ALS Association, and they are always there for me.
The ALS Association supports the ALS community and myself by bringing people together, which allows us to know that we're not alone, and also by raising awareness for ALS, because it is a disease that we really don't know much about.
The ALS Association has provided so many important things for our family, all the way from community resources, any kind of equipment we need. They make personal visits, they provide group activities to do, they connect you with other ALS patients and their families, and it just helps so much to know that you're not alone and there are people who feel exactly the way you do.
It's hard to understand why it happens to such great people, but it can happen to anyone. And so we're asking you, even if you can't even donate, just to have compassion and support for the people that are suffering.
My name is Renee Kroger.
My name is Chrissy Kroger.
We're in this together.
We hope you're enjoying a cold beverage and some chips and salsa right now. Just a reminder to visit the ALS Fiesta website after this program to check out our online auction, which includes a Porsche Boxster sports car, a beach staycation, and a homemade Italian dinner for 10 people. I think you'll love the chef. Our Fiesta website provides the opportunity to fund our mission as we support the 205 ALS patients currently registered with the Greater San Diego ALS chapter. Fund the mission and let's defeat ALS. We're all in this together.
We want our ALS patients to know that they are not alone in their journey. It's also important to note that our chapter network does not charge for services provided. The one thing I wish people knew about ALS is that an extensive and compassionate support system exists for them in this journey. At the onset of this devastating diagnosis, a neurologist may or may not know that an ALS Association chapter exists in their own community. We have also heard from ALS patients that they wish they would have reached out to our chapter sooner and had contacted us earlier in their diagnosis. Our hope is that they find us, reach out, give us an opportunity to assist, to guide and help them. We'll give them all that we have, which includes a growing amount of support, resources, care, and hope. I certainly hope you enjoyed tonight's ALS Fiesta. If the stories from these ALS heroes moved you, it's my hope that you will make a donation. How do you do that? There are many ways to give. Your generous support will make a big difference in the lives of people living with ALS. Just use the information you see on your screen. Every dollar matters, and we are grateful for your generosity. Also, if calling is easier for you to pledge your support, you can reach us right now at 858-271-5547. Please leave a message. If your call is not picked up, we will promptly call you back. My name is Steve Beckbar. We're in this together, and on behalf of the courageous men and women battling ALS, thank you for your support.